Hi everyone, it's Tammy at Frou-frou Studio. Welcome back. Today we're working on the hashtag ABC April 2025 challenge. And we are all the way up to the letter T. So, if you're not familiar, this is a collaboration between Margaret at Seven Plaza and Tony at Crafting by Tony. Both of them are making videos for this challenge. They're 6 days a week challenge, and they are alternating days to make their different makes. So I encourage you to check both of them out. They are making wonderful things for this challenge, and Tony has a playlist on her channel of where she is posting everyone's makes that is participating, that has social media, and is doing YouTube videos for the series. You can also search the hashtag on Instagram, and everyone that is posting to Instagram is under that hashtag, and so you can see everyone that is participating and what they're doing. So, as I've stated on previous days, I do not watch any videos so that I'm not influenced by anybody else's make. And I come up with my own deal, and then in the evenings, I watch the videos to see what everyone else has done. I don't want to be, I won't say influenced by what they're making as far as, oh, I'm going to make the same thing. I want to say I don't want it to keep me away from my original idea, because I am maybe using some of the same, words with a particular letter of the day. I would rather just come up with whatever I'm going to do, make it, and then if it happens to be the same products that somebody else is using, then I'm already done and I don't have to overthink it. Otherwise, I would be spending all my time trying to think of something that nobody else is doing, and I just don't want to do that. So, today, T is another good letter for junk journaling, because there are lots of T words that we use in junk journaling pretty much on every journal or piece of ephemera that we do, or at least I do. So that's what I'm going to do. I have chosen a time card as my base today, and I like to use time cards for several reasons. One, they're good and sturdy, and they have some interesting background. You can make tags out of these, which is what I'm going to do today. You can make a journaling card, you can make pockets, whatever you like. This one in particular is just a one-sided time card, but I know that I've had some in the past, and I probably still have some somewhere that are actually two-sided, and usually they're two different colors. So if it's like green on this side, it's red on this side. And those are, if you have payroll every 2 weeks. That way you can keep week 1 on one side and week 2 on the other side. And I'm giving away my age, punching a time card. I don't think many people have a manual clock anymore. I think people have a card they scan into a computer these days. Okay, what else are we gonna do? We're gonna use some text. We're gonna use tea bags, and I've got some tea bags here. Now, I get these tea bags off Amazon because the tea that I drink is iced tea. I don't drink hot tea. And I use the big family size bags, which are fine and they work good for junk journaling, but you don't use as many tea bags as often. And so I found these on Amazon, and I've already trimmed the edges off because they're still on the edges. But this is the kind of tea bags that you can put your own tea in, and then, you know, make your tea. So I got the ones that are unbleached, so they're already a nice color. But they're also a nice color if you do tea dye them. So I have some that are tea dyed, you can see. And then I have some that are the color that they come. So the one I'm going to work with today is the color that it comes. And I'm going to put this on here first because I want to tone down that green and the newness of the card a little bit. And then, like I said, I am going to make this a tag. And I'm going to also make a tuck on here. And I'm going to use a tab that I had in my stash. And it's going to go on the side, kind of like this. And it's going to be a tuck. And then I'm also going to use one of the tape transfer photos that I did. And this is one of the Tim Holtz Photomatic photos. And I did the packing tape transfer. And so you can see that it's pretty transparent. Another T word. And I didn't even write that one down. And then I also have, like I said, some text. And I have stamped this text with the Tim Holtz Ticking, another T, stamp in the Shabby Shutters green. And then I also have a ticket that is a Tim Holtz stamp. It's this one. And then I have torn it and taped it back together. So our basic theme for today is going to be torn and tattered. And so I'm going to get started putting all this together and we'll see how it works out. So the first thing I want to do, of course, is to lay this down. Now, I am just going to use a glue stick to put this down. You can use your collage medium, you can use Mod Podge, you can use matte gel medium, but I want to keep it soft, and so in this case, I'm just going to use my trusty old glue stick. So I'm going to do one side and cut it off and do the other because it's not wide enough to do. And I'm not using, I may have said this already, but I'm not going to use the tea dyed ones because I think it's too dark for this particular make. These are all, this kind of tea bag that you get is also awesome to put over a photograph because it does have that natural color. to it, and it's not too dark. And you can put it over a photo and it gives it a really cool effect. So we'll just make sure. Now, how did I miss that? Make sure everything's all nice and glued down. And then I'll cut it off and we'll do it again. Now, I did trim this in length because, you know, they are quite long. It had a, you know, day 6 and day 7, and I trimmed it about halfway through day 6, so it wouldn't be too long for my tag. Okay, so I'm going to do it. I don't want to overlap it too much. My tuck's going to be there, but I'd like to not overlap it too much so I have enough to do the entire card with one tea bag. I won't have to waste another one. Of course, it's not wasting, but you know what I mean. I don't want to have to get another one for one little piece. So I think we can piece this one together and make it work. I didn't get that all the way to the edge. But that's okay. I think by the time we ink, it'll be fine. And then I'm going to trim it on this side. And then I should be able to get my one little piece to go down there at the bottom. Yep. And we'll have it covered, and then we can ink it up. It's going to be a fairly easy make. Another keyword for today is trash. I mean, we all go through our trash, don't we? For stuff to junk journal. It's a good resource. The other day, for Easter, my husband had bought the grandkids some of the mini Cadbury eggs, and they came in these little plastic things. And so I was taking them out and, you know, making a little candy tiered tray for them. And I had them sitting off to the side, and he's like, "You're going to keep those?" And I said, "Yeah." And he was like, "Why?" And I said, "Paint palette, duh. I mean, is that not the perfect little paint palettes?" Yeah, so I have a couple of those. He thinks I'm crazy. But that's okay. Okay, so now we have our card all covered. Now, you could leave this more wrinkly if you wanted. Instead of, you know, pressing it down flat. In this particular case, I want it pretty flat because I'm going to put some text on top of it. And so I want a flat surface for that to go down on. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to put down is my text here that I stamped with the Tim Holtz ticking stamp. I'm just trying to decide where I want it. I think I want it about right there. So let's glue that down. This is really, really, really brittle. Can I say really one more time? Really brittle. Old German Gothic font, and I love it. But it has to be it has to be glued down to something, because otherwise it's just going to fall apart. And again, I used Shabby Shutter's archival ink to stamp that. Okay, so now let's do some, I may need that little piece, so I'm going to keep it. Inking and some putting angles at the top and stuff like that, so I can kind of see the tags start taking shape. I'm not going to poke a hole in the top because I'm going to have a tab on the side. So I'm just going to do the angles. And I'm going to go all the way around it with some walnut stain. And I'm going to go in a little deeper where these tears are in the text. And normally I wouldn't leave that one edge so straight on the text, but I know I'm going to have my little, this thing on here. And you can see that's very tattered and torn. So it's going to take a lot of that straight line away. Okay. Now, I think I want her down here. And you'll notice immediately when I put this down how you can see the text. I hope you can see that. See the text behind her. And I just think that is so cool. So, again, I'm going to put it down with glue stick and hope that it holds. If it doesn't, we'll have to come up with plan B, but I think it'll hold it. So if I take that and smush it down, it gives a really cool effect because you can see the photo, but you can also see the ticking in the text behind it. And I think that's really cool. Okay, and then I've got my ticket, and my ticket, I kind of wish was a little less green, if that makes sense. A little duller green, but it looks okay. And it's gonna tuck, you know, right in there. We could do another ticket as well. And I think I want a little bit of the text up here. See if I put this about there. Yeah, let's put this little piece over on that side just to kind of bring that over. Okay. Yeah, I like the way that's looking. We need some stamping or something here. Stick our ticket in there. So it'll look like that. So if I put a number and a name right there, and then we'll do something down here, I think we'll be good. I could move this down just a tad. Let it flow better. Okay, so let's find a number. To put up there. How's everybody doing? Did I ask you that already? I just jumped right into my make. I will say that I did see this morning when I was looking at my notifications that Joey the Card Maker is doing T, the letter T, and he has created a beautiful tea time little digital. So if you have a chance, jump over to YouTube. He did a hands video, as he calls it. But jump over to his channel. And check that out. He does beautiful digitals. I'm working with one right now. I'm working with his 1930s kit, and I love it. I've also used his 1940s kit in the past. Okay, and then let's get my signatures stamp here. And get one that we think will fit. That one's a bit small. I'd like to have something a little bit bigger. Let's do, will this one fit? Yeah, we'll do that one. I have to always do kind of a practice stamp with these and make sure I don't have them upside down. Especially the ones that are kind of in cursive writing. There we go. Then we'll maybe do like a, that's mail. That's not gonna, here's one that says factory. Chic Organ Factory, right? But this is more specimen oriented. So maybe we'll do something else. Maybe I'll find a label or something to put there. I really like this number 3 though. Let's put that there. The number 3 and the number 5 on the stamp set, which I don't know what the name of it is. I love both of them. They're the coolest numbers. I'm wondering, should I maybe do that in the green? No, I think it needs the black. Okay, now let's put the rest of it together and see. So what we've got, I hope I wasn't too off screen when I was stamping that. If I was, I apologize. Sometimes I forget that I'm recording. Okay, so now we want to put that about right there, and I'm just going to glue nowhere, obviously, because my glue is locked up. Okay. Let's get right here. All right. I wonder, I think if I put, well, I'm going to leave it. Let's try to say I could put, I'm going to try, sometimes antique linen has a tendency to be a little chalky in the distress. I but I don't even know that that's going to take any of the brightness down. Okay, I'll stick that in there. You need to tear that brown paper off just a little. Or I could glue, I'm going to glue it like right here, because that'll still allow me to have a tuck, but I'll have a little bit more stability on that one top edge, so I'm not catching that brown paper every time. Not that I think you're going to take that tag or the ticket out much, but if you do. Okay, so there is our tattered and torn time card tag with a tape transfer image and some text and ticking and the number 3. That one was just thrown in there. So I think we have all our teas covered for today. Thanks for joining me, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.